Late afternoon.
So, do you want to ask the first question to start us off?
And this will be your eye line anywhere over here. Please just tell us your name as you'd wish it to appear.
Yeah, my name is Joe Thompson.
Great. And Joe, professionally, what would be your title?
Well, I'm the Director of Maintenance and Operations over 18 cemeteries here in the DC area.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about your projected vision for a memorial that would kind of bring together the stones that were recovered from the Potomac River.
Well, we've moved several stones now, and we're not really sure exactly how many we're going to have. So, put together a design that is flexible, that can take 60 or 70 or more, depends on how things work out. But behind us, or on the other side of the road here, we have about 12 acres that we can dedicate to a proposed memorial that will commemorate the names of the families that were moved from the old Columbian Harmony Cemetery to the new Harmony Cemetery, and have a nice feature of some type that also illustrates that movement from one park to the other. So that's what we're working on. We have some designs, and maybe we'll have some pictures of that popping up here in a minute. But it's just proposed, and it's rather expensive, but hopefully we'll find the funding to do what needs to be done.
When you move people from one resting place to another, what is that process like? Do they just, especially for an old cemetery like?
Well, in an old cemetery like that, very many of the interments do not have memorials. So anything that has a memorial, obviously you know who was interred there, and their body or whatever is disinterred individually. But the majority of the cemetery is going to be unmarked graves that you are not completely sure of the identity. So we're not 100% sure of specific identities, but we do know the location that interment came from. And what we've done in the past is created these gardens out in the cemetery that are named after the main gardens that were disinterred from at that time in the late 50s. So those bodies that were in Herbert are now in Herbert, although not necessarily identified. So the feature would be an opportunity for folks that know their family was out there somewhere and would like to have their family commemorated, and there will be facilities to do that within the feature, like engravings or bronze plaques, however we work it out in the future. Brother man, how do you spell Ehrig? It's I-H-R-I-G? I'm jealous.
About what? Oh, yeah. I'm getting the other ones any day, but we'll talk later.
Okay, am I done yet?
All right, I've got another question for you. Because I hear the truck, so get going. So, how important is it for people to have a memorial for their loved ones? You've been in this business for a long time. You know, how important is like a tombstone, a head marker, you know, and how does that relate to
Yeah.
this fund?
Well, memorialization gives a person or a family a place to grieve or to think about their family's tradition. And just having a name, certainly over the interment spot or part of a cenotaph, for instance, like all the guys who went in on D-Day, is a place to remember. So I think having that place to remember is the point of memorialization, because it's a focus rather than just sitting around the dinner table and saying, what about Granddad? Well, you know, have a nice feature and there's Granddad's name. So.
And what are your thoughts about this proposed project? You know, providing closure for people, or providing a final sort of final closure for all those who've been moved.
Well, I think it's very important that we proceed with this project. And I think that the families in this area will see more and more value in it, you know, as it comes to be. I want to see it happen. I think it deserves to happen.
Do you have any final thoughts or anything else you'd like to say? Wrapping up, or?
Not really, except that National Harmony is a very historic cemetery for the community that we serve. And these movements of folks from one to the other is a huge part of it. So to actually commemorate that or remember that or have some way to show that as part of the history, I think is very important.